No, I'm not done. No, I'm done! No, I swear I was done! Oh my god! I'm done! Oh god! Oh my god!
You're probably wondering how he got here. I was too a few months ago. After all, no one's making him play this game, and it seems like he's not having a very good time, to say the least. But what is it about this game that makes him continue for 7 more parts? Why would you play a game that makes you feel like this? It seems counterintuitive. If you know you're going to have a bad time, why would anyone want to get over it? To answer this, we need to start by answering what a Foddian game is. The term is derived from Bennett Foddy, developer of Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. As a result, Getting Over It is the perfect example of what a Foddian game is. A Foddian game is a game that is made up entirely of one level with no checkpoints, where the goal is usually for the player to climb to the top of some sort of mountain or structure. As Foddy points out,
no amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Foddian games are also usually incredibly difficult. The controls are unusual and hard to master, the obstacles are challenging and hard to pass, and mistakes are severely punished. These combine to make a uniquely frustrating experience that set Foddian games apart from the rest. But what is it like to play a Foddian game? We saw in the intro that some people have a less than spectacular time with them. And from what I can tell, this experience is almost universal. Everyone I've seen play a Foddian game has in some way demonstrated their frustration towards it. For this project, I set out to play Getting Over It myself, and my first completion of the game took upwards of 14 hours. There were times it felt hopeless, like I would never make it to the top, and I tried to take in the small victories to drown out all the crushing defeats. After all, maybe this time I can make it just a little bit higher. And eventually I did make it. A similar story can be found by looking at YouTuber Markiplier. In this 2018 video, I literally throw a chair in rage. You can see the beginning of Markiplier's Getting Over It journey, and all the small victories and crushing falls, usually accompanied by one of the 47 voice lines for falling found in the game. The point being that the first playthrough of a Foddian game is usually a pretty bad time. But where do Foddian games get their popularity from? I know at least some of you have heard of popular Foddian games like Getting Over It, Jump King, or most recently, a difficult game about climbing. Videos on these games gather tens of millions of views on platforms like YouTube, and that's not even considering the countless hours of live stream content on Foddian games. These videos no doubt drive lots of attention to these games, inspiring new players to give them a try, but what makes these videos so successful on such competitive platforms? My theory for this revolves around the over-the-top reactions found in these videos. Think about it. You don't click on a video called "I literally throw a chair in rage" because the game is interesting. You click on it because you want to see Markiplier throw his chair across his room. But where do these reactions come from? In a study published to IEEE, they studied the relationship between communication, emotion, and performance in esports. They found that the correlation between the three was very high, essentially saying that good emotions led to good performance. That being said, for our purposes, the opposite is true as well, meaning that negative emotions lead to performing worse. This creates a vicious cycle in Foddian games. The player makes a mistake, falls, gets upset, makes another mistake because they were upset, and falls even further. Their frustration from this is where I believe these reactions come from. And yet, we choose to play them anyway. There are a few possible explanations for this. The first coming from Self-Esteem and Positive Psychology by Christopher J. Mruck. In it, they talk about how one's self-esteem is linked with one's achievements. People may play Foddian games like Getting Over It to prove that they can, an achievement they can pride themselves on and come back to remind themselves of their dedication and success where others have failed. Another possible explanation comes from French philosopher Albert Camus in his writing on the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus being that guy from Greek mythology that has to push the rock up a mountain for eternity. Camus states that one must imagine Sisyphus happy, claiming that Sisyphus takes joy in his task, even if it is difficult and ultimately meaningless. Some people play Foddian games because they enjoy the challenges they provide. They enjoy figuring out what to do and can live with all the setbacks and heartbreak. But most people keep playing because they know that once they're done, they don't have to play anymore. I think this quote from Ludwig sums it up best.
Look, people ask me, do I get sick of playing the Foddian games? Or better yet, do I even enjoy playing them? And the simple answer is
Heck.
no. No, I do not enjoy playing them, not even a little bit, but there's like a hard to describe sense of, I don't know if it's euphoria or if it's simply relief that I've delusioned myself into believing is euphoria that I get when I actually am done, that I don't get playing any other game.